Okay, guys, so this is a video I've been wanting to do for quite some time. Actually, I had written these instructions like months ago, and as I was going through them, updating some of the commands in the in the documentation here, I noticed that my Java version I was downloading was 201 instead of 251. So it's been however long that is between those two releases. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about installing Minecraft server on Ubuntu Linux, and this is like for your home or whatever. You can have your friends connect to your Minecraft server, or if you want to use it just inside, I guess you could just have your family and whoever's in your house connect your Minecraft server. But we will talk about the port forwarding is what routers call it. It's actually just NAT, which is network address translation. We're going to translate an external address to an internal address so that people outside of your house can access your Minecraft server as well. And actually, more accurately, it's called PAT because it's more or less a port address translation, right? PAT-NAT. But anyhow, so that aside, what I want to install is Minecraft Server 1.13.2 because that's one of my favorite versions. 1.8.9 is also another one. I haven't been running the latest releases personally. Getting a hold of the Minecraft Server jar file is actually pretty easy. Like if you go to mojang.com and try to find it, might be frustrating, but you can go to mcversions.net. And you can find literally any of the versions out there. It's so awesome that they've compiled this list. It's really easy to use, too. I could literally search for it like that, 1.13.2. And you can see I got my stable releases here. So I'm going to click that download button, and you can see my download server jar right there. And this site doesn't house the jar files. If you look at the link down on the bottom of my screen there, it says launcher.mojang.com. So I'm actually downloading the Minecraft server jar file from Mojang. So I trust that because that's the creator of this particular Minecraft, right? If it was downloading from some other site, maybe mcversions.net's okay, but there are quite a few sketchy Minecraft sites out there, especially when you get into like the mods and other things. So anyhow, with that said, this will actually download right from Mojang. That's where I would recommend you getting it, and that's where I got mine from. So the 1.13.2. I copied this URL right here, copy link address, and that's what I've got in my instruction set right here. So you can see my instruction set. We're going to download it later on. But the first thing we need to do is get Java running on our Linux instance. So I'm over here in my Linux prompt, and I've got I'm confusing myself here. Okay, so I got the prompt going. What I want to do first, though, because I mess myself up on this all the time, is sudoing. I want to basically just elevate myself to root all the time so I don't have to worry about typing sudo in the front. I know some Linux guys, I've said this in past and other videos, would probably frown at that, but whatever. We're going to do it anyways. So I got this download link for Java from java.com, and it was kind of a weird way to do it. Java's got a weird, like you can't just go download any version of Java that you want. For some reason, they make it difficult, kind of like Minecraft does as well, right? So I constructed this link to put it together with a previous link that I had with the 201, right? So I took out I renamed it to 251 because I know that's the latest release. I found this in a different URL. Anyhow, that aside, you can literally copy paste this, and it'll download the JRE. So I know it says JDK here, but it's actually the JRE. So we're only installing the JRE in this case. And it's pretty easy to install. What we're going to do is I'm going to mkdir user local Oracle Java 8. And then I'm going to, actually I just downloaded this file right in my home folder, so I'm going to go ahead and just extract that guy. So I'm going to copy this command here, and we're going to extract it right into that folder we just created under user local, like that. Shouldn't take too long. It's only 87 megs, so that was pretty fast. And then the next thing I want to do is add this Java instance, the Java runtime application into update alternatives. And I'm going to add Java and then also Java WS, which we won't use Java WS, but that's okay. We'll still add it. And then update alternatives, let's just look and see, make sure that if you have other versions of Java on there, you can configure which is the default. In this case, we only have one Java entered, so it doesn't matter. So it may be the only one that's used. And you can validate that the Java version is installed by typing Java-version. And there you can see I'm running Java runtime 1.8.0 build 251 B8. Actually, I think the B8 might be build. I don't know, but this is the unique number there. So I've got Java running, which is really good. So the next thing we want to do, though, is we want to run this Minecraft server on within its own user context instead of root. And so I'm going to go ahead and create a user called mcserver. And I've added a couple tags here. One is don't create a home folder. I don't care about that. Define the shell for this user to no login because I don't want anybody logging in as this user. And then also create a user group with the same name as the user, which is mcserver. So Minecraft server. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy paste that in here. You can see that I've got that user created now. You can see it down here at the bottom, mcserver. It has a home folder, but there is no home folder created. And you can't log in as it. So fine, sounds good, right? So the next thing I want to do is I want to create my folder where I'm going to install Minecraft. So I'm going to put it at the root. And I've got a games folder there now. I just created that. So mkdir games, and then I'm going to change dir to games, and we've got an empty folder here. So the next thing I want to do is type in mkdir Minecraft, and this is where my Minecraft install is going to be. So the reason I stick it under games is just because also you might want to run other games, like maybe you want to put a couple instances of Minecraft, or maybe you want to install something else on here. But it's just the organization that I use. So anyhow. Let's go ahead and change the ownership of this. And we can do recursive, and we might have to actually run this again later. But I'm going to change the ownership to mcserver, and I'm going to change the I'm going to change the permissions to 755 for Minecraft. And now you can see that it's owned by mcserver. We'll go into Minecraft, which is great. And now we're ready to actually download the Minecraft jar, which I showed you guys where I got that from, right? I got that from the mcversions.net. This right here, mcversions.net. And what I want to do next is download that using wget, and we're going to download that jar file. So now we have the Minecraft server jar file. Yeah, and you can see that it's already got mcserver doesn't have ownership of that. So we'll have to do this chown and chmod after we're done with most of this configuration. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. And the next thing you want to do is, I've got a mark here that says +X on the jar, but I don't think we need to do that. Also, this is not, we don't do this until after we attempt to start it once. So let's go ahead and try to run that jar file and see what it does. It should come back and fire at us that, we don't need this guy here. It should come back and fire at us that we need to sign the EULA agreement. And just give it a second here. It'll actually show up and tell us that. And it's a pretty easy thing to do. All you got to do is go into that text file and edit a variable to true instead of false. So it's certainly taking its time, isn't it? So you can see right here, you need to agree to the EULA in order to run the server. So VI EULA, because it just created that file now. You can see that's a new file there, right? It created a whole lot of things actually since we last downloaded it with two files in a folder. So I'm going to edit this EULA file with VI, I for edit. I'm going to say true, escape, :WQ for write quit. And I just saved that. So now we can actually run it again, which is what I'm going to do. And actually it'll start this time, which is great because that's what we want. Once it starts the first time successfully, it'll create other files in there, like server properties will have more. You'll see that's only 59 bytes right now. It'll actually be like 350 bytes. Plus what we're going to do is we're going to OP my user account, which should change to your user account, whoever you want to OP it first. OP is operator, like the owner of the server. They can do commands like kick people and whitelist and whatnot. And then the other thing you're going to want to do is whitelist you, because I highly recommend you using whitelist for your Minecraft server. Absolutely use a whitelist if you're going to do external and you don't have mods that provide for protection or anything like that. So so that's basically it. It looks like it's loaded, right? It says unknown command, so you could technically say, I thought it was like help. Yeah, there you go. So, but that aside, what we want to do is OP. I'm going to OP me. Perfect. And then I'm also going to whitelist add me. Perfect. And then we're going to quit. So Control C will quit it. And it's going to shut down the Minecraft server. And now if I do a list, you can see it's added a whole bunch more files, right? And so look at my server properties. Ooh, look at 800. I said 350. That's way bigger. I've also got a whitelist file now, and I also have an ops file. So now you could cat that. Let's go cat, which is basically like echo in Windows. I'm going to show the contents of this file. I'm going to cat that, and you can see Desert Mooses right there, which is what we want. And then I'm going to cat the whitelist, and you can see Desert Mooses in the whitelist. So I'm an OP, and I'm whitelisted to log into the server, which is excellent. So the next thing we want to do is edit the server properties file. So I've got a few items here. We can go over some of these. I'm not going to go over all of them. You can Google what some of these mean. But basically what we're looking for is game mode. Game mode 0 is just standard game mode. I'm sure you're familiar with the game modes. Difficulty 1 is fine. What I want to find, though, is the enforce whitelist. I want to set that to true. And the other one I want to do, so spawn monsters is good. The other one I want to do is pay attention to your server port, because that's going to be the port we're going to use when we do the port forwarding. That's funny. Whitelist true here. Yeah. So enforce whitelist and whitelist. That's weird that you got two of them, but whatever. We'll go with that. And then the last one you want to do is change maybe your server name. So you could say like system. We'll just go geekhead server. Bam. So basically I've set the server name to geekhead. I've enforced a whitelist, and I left basically the rest of this stuff alone. So I'm going to go ahead and escape out of insert mode. I'm going to right quit, and now we've got an enforced whitelist for the server. And you're going to want to validate that those settings are accurate. Like, try to have somebody connect to your server that has never been connected. It shouldn't let them connect. So validate that before you just go, oh yeah, it's whitelisted, and expose it, and then go to bed, and come the next day somebody figured out how to break all the houses you had built. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is create a shell script that starts the Minecraft server, because I've got some flags I want to apply to my Java command. So, oh, and this is one of my instances there. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is I'm going to create a file here, vi startmc.shell. Hit I for insert so we can start typing. And I'm not going to bore you guys with typing this, so I'm just going to paste it in there. Ooh, it's kind of hard to see that blue. So basically defining the runtime shell environment for this script, which is bash. I want to change to games Minecraft, and then I want to start Java using 2 gigs of RAM and some other performance settings that I had found online for using for Minecraft. It's just something that they said helps with performance. And then -jar and server jar and no GUI, because we don't want a GUI. So that's basically it. And I'll have this commands available in the description, so you guys don't have to like look at this. I mean, you can. I guess you could pause it and look and type, but I'll have them available in a text file as well. So I'm going to go ahead and right quit that, and you'll see I've got startmc, but you can't execute a shell script until you add the +x to that bad boy. So we're going to go ahead and say +x for execute on startmc, and now you can see it's runnable. And okay, so the next thing I want to do is create a service. So I want this Minecraft server to start up every time this Linux server starts. So if the server reboots or something like that, we don't have an issue with you know, the Minecraft server being down while I'm at work or whatever, like something like that. It'll just automatically start every time the computer starts. And so what we want to do is don't do that one yet. Sorry, I had these in like the wrong order. So basically, I'm going to edit a Minecraft service file. So service files in this version of Ubuntu are going to be under etc system dsystem. And I'm going to call this Minecraft server-service. And let's edit that. Hit I for insert. And then let's go ahead and just copy paste this whole section. And we can, I'm going to cancel that real quick. Oh, so hold on a second. I made a mistake here. This is copied from my production Minecraft server there. Get rid of that 3, because I got 3 different ones. So basically, it's pretty basic. I'm just defining a couple different things. I'm defining, for one, the user MC server is the user it's going to run under. I'm defining that the executable start rather, is games Minecraft start MC. That's that shell file we just made. And then kill mode is mixed so that it can successfully kill the entire process when you say system control stop Minecraft server. And that's basically it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit right quit to save that. What you need to do next is you need to reload the system control daemon, which will ingest that Minecraft server. So now you could say system control status Minecraft server. And you can see that it is dead, which means it's never ran. Okay, perfect. So the first thing we want to do now is we should be able to start this, right? We've already started it once. We defined our server properties. We added some whitelists and some ops, and that's basically it. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. The next thing we need to do before we start this, because remember everything is currently owned by root, which is not good. So what we want to do is back up a folder here, and we want to rerun the chmod and chown. These guys right here, because we want to make sure that mcserver has full access. So now if we go back into Minecraft server after running those two, you can see that mcserver owns basically everything. Bam, perfect. And I think that should be it. To be honest with you, everyone should not be able to read or execute. That should be locked out. So this should technically be 7.5. So user, group, and everyone. Why would everyone need to access these? It should only be mcserver, right? Go with me there, right? That sounds right. We're going to do it. We're going to go bold right now. So now if I go back in the Minecraft server, I cleared it out, so everyone doesn't have access to them at all. That's fine. Whatever one works, 755 or 750, it doesn't matter, I don't think. So let's go ahead and now the next thing we want to do is I'm going to enable the service. So that means that it'll auto fire every time the computer starts. You can see it created a sim link. And the next thing we want to do is let's actually start this bad boy. And let's check the status, because obviously we want to make sure that it's running. Started Minecraft service. Started. It might take a little while. I wonder how long it's going to be like. Let's just try to connect it. So I've got it I've got 1.13.2. So I didn't explain this earlier, but in case you didn't know, you can't connect to a Minecraft server with a client that's different than the server, right? They have to be the same. So the client has to be the same version as the server. So 1.13.2 is what we're using. This should be that Minecraft server. Should let us in. Maybe I'm wrong. There you go. Look at that. We just logged in to our own Minecraft server. So now I'm going to tab out of this really quick. And you can see, I just did a status on that service again. And you can literally see that Desert Moose here has connected. Fantastic. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so that's basically it. You are literally running your own Minecraft server. Every time you reboot this server, it should auto start that service for you. And the next thing you're going to want to do is expose your Minecraft server to the internet. Now this is a bold move, right? Because anything in the security world, anything you expose to the internet is exposing risk, right? And so you're basically popping holes at limited holes, sure, because you're only doing one port, but you are popping holes in your firewall saying, hey, anybody outside there, assuming you don't have any custom access control lists on that, anybody on the outside world should be able to connect to my IP address at this port. And that's your Minecraft server port. That's a common port for Minecraft server. I would only expose this particular port. So when you're making a port forward rule, you're going to have like whatever your internal addresses are. So pretend like your server is 192.168.0.1. This is your inside server, and you have, say you have an external address. You're not going to find that, your router will say it, but you're going to say, I want that server with port 25565. That's it. Don't do any wildcards on the ports. Don't do any wildcards on IP addresses. Make sure you only expose the server that you want. And again, that's a risk you have to take on your own. Being aware of what's out there. People can scan your environment. People might try to find exploitable things in your Minecraft server. They could hack into your Minecraft server maybe and exploit your whole network, right? So you got to really think about when you open up something to the outside world, you got to think about what potentially could happen. Most people don't have static IP addresses, and so you're going to want to make an account on some kind of dynamic DNS service. Noip.com seems like a pretty good service. I have never used them personally. I signed up for an account that was basic, but I didn't end up actually using it. But it has a dynamic update client for Linux. So you could technically sign up for an account like this, get a host name at noip.com, like my Minecraft server is cool.noip.com, and they will have this client here connect in and update your current dynamic IP to the no IP name. So every time your IP changes, because it will at your house over time, the client on your Minecraft server will automatically connect in and tell no IP what your new IP is. So then all your friends can connect to your server using a host name instead of you having to tell them your IP address all the time. So noip.com is looks like a pretty good product. Again, I have never used it, so as with everything on the internet, make sure you pay attention to what you're doing and don't just shoot from the hip and hope for the best, because anybody that's trying to exploit you will love that you're shooting from the hip and hoping for the best. Anyhow, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this video was useful, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.